white people have an implicit bias against black people or against Latino people, whatever.
Why do you think that there would be a bias from people who are running construction crews about hiring women to do construction, do you think?
Because they're misogynistic.
Oh, now during my time, I'd like to so graciously give you the floor so that you can prove to us that it was due to greed that wages stagnated. Can you actually do that, Pretty, or are you just going to sit there and shut your mouth like a good woman? If you have participants who won't participate, why are you having a panel? Who am I supposed to argue with? Myself? Hey, Andrew, I think that's a bad idea. Yes, Andrew, I think that's a good idea. Andrew, what about... Don't answer the fucking question. Answer the question, lady. Fatty, answer the question, you stupid broad. Answer it.
Guys, I've seen a little bit of the beginning of this video, and I thought that the conversation was super interesting, but what was even more interesting to me was the panel. So you got Andrew Wilson from The Crucible, who I think is the best debater online right now. You got Tommy Sotomayor, a guy who's been talking about these topics for the past 20 years on YouTube. He was talking about these topics in a time where you could get banned for talking about this stuff on YouTube. And actually, he did get banned on YouTube for talking about this stuff. You got the angry man here in the middle, and they're debating these two feminists right here, the public offender and Pretty Intellectual, and they're talking about gender roles. So I thought that this was a very interesting conversation at the beginning, and I just want to see the direction that it goes in. So let's go ahead and get right into it.
So do you believe that the majority of, not do you believe, because a woman decides that she does not have to cook for a man, she does not have to perform for a man when she's dating those men, it does not mean the woman does not have the ability to do so. More women are saying, I do not wish to perform for men. It doesn't mean she does not know how to. So Angry Man's question was, do they know how? Not will they do it for you? It's do they know how to cook and clean? In which I said majority do. Yes, it does not mean the majority is going to do it for you.
And my answer still stays. The majority of them don't know how to cook and don't know.
I agree with Lady Shan. Like, if you look at the culture, a lot of women, modern women, they view that as demeaning. They view having to cook and clean and do all of the things that their mothers or their grandmothers did as demeaning. Some even consider it slavery.
Right, exactly. And if you have that type of mentality about your roles going into a relationship, how are you ever going to have a happy relationship with somebody? And that's the craziest part about the feminist mentality to me. They think that making a man a sandwich is oppressive or slavery, but a man literally putting them in a pretzel, shooting up the club, and impregnating them is empowering. And then they try to sell you the dream. They try to sell you beachfront property in Idaho. They tell you, I'm going to start acting like a wife after you make me a wife. And that's just stupid. People don't change after they get married. When you say I do, some magical spell doesn't go off and people start floating up in the air like the Disney movies. People don't change after they get married. They're probably going to behave exactly how they were behaving when you dated them. This is literally the dumbest take you can start this conversation with, but this is the common mindset now. A lot of women think that they can use sex to keep a man over the long term, and sure, it might work in the short term to keep a man, but if you don't have any long-term characteristics, men are not going to wife you up or stick around. You expect a man to do everything that men are supposed to do traditionally, but then when it comes to you taking on your traditional gender roles, all of a sudden it's oppressive or slavery.
So there are women that will say, I won't, but really they can't because they don't know how. They can't boil water.
Right.
I might be setting myself up, but do you guys think that the average modern man knows how to build a house with his bare hands?
No, but he knows how to cook.
But cooking is a woman's job according to the patriarchy, correct?
No, cooking.
So we're doing gender roles because
no,
right?
Oh my God. No,
if we're doing gender roles, I just want to go gender role for gender role.
The best. If woman, can you let me answer the question?
Men don't have to know how to build a house. That's why we buy houses. That's what modern society is about. It's about specialists. So we all specialize in something individually, and then we hire other specialists to outsource all of the things that we need done. So instead of people knowing how to build houses, farm land, and do all the things that it used to take to live, now we just do one thing, and then we pay people to do all the other things for us. So we live in a specialist-geared society. Men don't need to know how to build a house by hand anymore. You buy houses. That's the point.
If woman job according to the patriarchy was cooking, most of Michelin chefs wouldn't be men. Like on the top 30 Michelin, the best cooks in the planet are men. So one second. So 1 second, please. 1 second. So we transition.
You're gonna be the moderator. You ain't moderating that much.
Can I run my own show? Like, why you guys
I
acting up? No.
Alright, you
Every time, every time that y'all came here, y'all play y'all position. All of a sudden, y'all can crazy. Why? Today, can we have a conversation? Can we have a conversation, public offender?
Can we?
Okay. So what I'm saying is that most roles are democratized now. Like men know how to cook and clean, women go to work. Like the functions of both of genders actually meshed up. Like y'all keep saying that women now work more and do those things and do this and do that. The same way women now know how to make money, have credit cards, houses, and all that. Men started to do things that were traditionally feminine.
But Fatty, it's a false equivalency. He's comparing building a house to cooking a
to survival skills.
Right.
It's ridiculous.
How many hours does it take you to build a house, Angry Man?
It's not a gender public. That's not a gender role. No, building a house, public offender. We're not gonna public. There's twice you about to do this. First we was wiping ass.
I can't have a conversation.
No, hold on, brother.
But this man is comparing building a house to cooking a meal for your family, especially because when you gotta cook for yourself, you're already cooking for yourself. All you gotta do is add an extra portion to cook for the man too. The delusion of feminists, male and female, has to be studied. It's crazy.
Brother, hold on.
Jesus Christ.
Public. Let's have a genuine conversation.
You want me here or not?
No. First we were wiping ass. A man building a house is not a gender role. Come on.
Let me ask the question, Ali. You not even letting the question get asked.
We already
Go ahead. What is the question?
Ask the question. You don't even know what's about to happen. Let me ask the question. So the question again: how many hours? If you I'm just guesstimate. You ain't got to be right or wrong. I'm not trying to lock you in or nothing. I'm being real. How many hours do you think it takes to build a 2,000 square foot, a 1,500 square foot?
He thinks he's cooking right now.
Up to code? Up to code or not up to code?
I don't. Either one. Whatever one you want to do.
No, I mean not up to code. It would probably only take a few days if you had all the materials. If
Okay, let's go up to code because we want you to be able to.
Well, I mean, if it was up to code and I had to do it by hand, let's say
no. I'm sorry. Andrew.
So public defender.
You have all the tools and everything modern. You have all of that, right? But you have to build it yourself, right? I'm asking you.
For me, it would probably take me, if it was all up to code, it would probably take me somewhere 6 to 8 weeks, I would guess. If it was 2,000 square feet, it was all up to code. And I had all the materials and all the tools and all the crew.
Yeah, 5. So 5, that's 5 days a week, 8 hours a day, roughly, right? So you're talking about 40 hours times 6, correct?
Yeah, and I'm not a builder, but I think
if you're getting ready to compare this to how often a woman has to cook, which is every day.
No, I understand. I understand the question. I'm happy to answer it. Yeah, probably 6 to 8 weeks for me to do it.
Okay, so we talking what? 240 hours, right? Does that sound
right? Something like that, sure.
Okay, cool. So we're talking about 240 hours to build a home. Okay, how many hours do you think a person spends? I don't know, in a lifetime cooking?
I knew this is where he was going with it.
Is it over 240 hours or is it less than 240? If you had to guess.
Probably the
same. You mean based on the averages of person?
Probably less time than it takes for the man to work.
Hang on. I'm sorry. Do men only build one house?
No. Listen to what I'm saying. Yes,
all right.
You only built the one house you live in because most people build a house and they live in it. They don't build.
Most people don't build a house and then live in it. No, that's incorrect.
Live in the house.
No, most people don't build a house and then live in it. That's incorrect.
No.
In 2025.
Hold
on. We're not about to. Hold on.
They built a house and they lived in it.
Hold on. This is a bad argument again. If you live with yourself,
it's a bad argument because it blows up y'all dumbass point.
Let me finish. No, it
doesn't.
You know what? No, can I finish, y'all, please? It's a disingenuous argument because when a woman wants a man to cook, she'll say everybody should learn how to cook. But once she has to cook for a man, she's a slave or a maid. If she's single, she's cooking for herself. She's just being an adult.
Yeah.
So it's nothing wrong with adding an extra plate and making it seem as barbaric if I'm asking a woman to cook in a house, especially if I'm providing.
Right.
You keep making these disingenuous arguments that are not relevant to the conversation, nor is it you're equating cooking to building a house, but that's not a gender role. So if a woman cooking is too difficult to be with a man, why is it okay to cook for herself?
And it's not even a tit for tat thing. Like a woman should want to do those things for a man, just like a man should want to do certain things for women. It just doesn't make any sense. If you go into a relationship thinking about things in this way, way, like a tit for tat type of situation, you already starting off on the wrong foot. He acting like all men have to do is build a house and then their life is just completed, as if the government ain't gonna come and expect you to pay property taxes on the house. Like you ain't got to pay water on the house. Like you ain't got to pay the electricity bill or the gas bill so that the woman can cook in the house. Like you ain't got to protect the house as a man. People who love each other sacrifice and do things sometimes that they don't want to do, oftentimes things that they don't want to do, to provide a certain life for people that they love. It looks different on the male and the female side. Traditionally speaking, men contribute a little bit more to bills and contribute a little bit more to protection, and women contribute a little bit more to doing domestic labor. And expecting somebody to do all of the things that they're supposed to do while you don't do anything because you believe it's oppressive or slavery is not reciprocation, and that's not love.
Cook for her children. It's only when she has to cook for a man where it becomes problematic.
Let me go back a little bit because he was cooking right here.
So if a woman cooking is too difficult to be with a man, why is it okay to cook for herself or cook for her children?
Right.
It's only when she has to cook for a man where it becomes problematic and public offender, you start fighting over it. If she can cook for herself as an adult and a single woman and she's strong and independent, it should be no problem to cook for a man that loves her and providing for her.
Yeah, I think I'm just talking about hours.
Can you address what I just said? Can you address what I just said?
Hold on. I am.
Public.
I'm going to address what you're saying.
It's fine. It's fine. It's fine.
Okay. Jesus Christ. So again, the point isn't can a woman just add on another plate, because to do that, it takes more labor. Whether you acknowledge that or not, it's hilarious. to cook more food takes more time.
No, it
takes
doesn't.
more prep time.
No,
it
it
literally
doesn't.
does. If you only got to cut a half an onion and you got to cut a whole onion, it takes double the amount of time.
Hold on.
Using the gender role argument and the modern woman argument, because remember, we got here because the whole thing was the women nowadays don't know how to cook. And I'm like, okay, cool. So if we're going by the gender roles that women should know how to cook and women should cook and clean for their man, then what do men do, modern men do today, that traditional men used to do?
Yes.
And I just
public defender.
What do you mean? Men used to build houses? Hang on. Let me respond. Hang on. I haven't said a word. Let me respond to this. So the absurdity of your argument is like, if you're talking about traditional gender roles, yeah, that's great. You're right on the house building thing. Men used to build a lot of houses, and guess what? They still build all the houses.
Right.
That's why if you look at the construction industry, it's 99%, 98% men. But when you're talking about cooking, right, the reason, and by the way, it wasn't mostly women who did cooking, it was just mostly women who stayed at home who did cooking.
Right.
That's why it's considered a traditional family role. It's part of the whole child rearing aspect. That's the whole point of it.
The way that you're just making stuff up is hilarious.
Which thing do you think I'm making up?
Women do and still to this day in a relationship, even in 2025, all the modern shit y'all talking about, women still do cook more than men.
Do you know why that is, though?
Do more labor in the home than men.
Wait.
Why, Andrew?
Why?
Second, because
Why?
most of the time in a relationship, the woman works outside the home less than the man.
Oh,
Exactly.
I got it. So she has additional duties. Oh, gee, I'm so fucking confused. I didn't know that.
Hold on, brother. I'm not a liar, so I'll tell the truth. Secondly, your whole premise around why men build homes is stupid, because the reason why women aren't in construction at a higher rate, I won't say at the same rate as men, but at a higher rate, is because men lock them out. That's like saying,
when did they lock them out?
They have no
Hang on. Let me engage with the argument. Hang on, before you guys all cut in, let me just have a quick back and forth with them on it, please.
Ridiculous. So again, that saying that women aren't in construction and trying to use that for an argument like, well, men still build the homes. Yeah, because it's still ran by men, because the patriarchy says that women, you can't have certain jobs. Even if
and what restrictions are put on women right now from going and building houses?
Listen, you cut me off too early. Again, I'll repeat it. Even if on paper
this dude
it
is so
says
dumb
that women can work there, that doesn't stop something called implicit bias. Like racism, for an example, still exists. It doesn't have to exist on paper. It still exists in society. White people have an implicit bias against black people or against Latino people, whatever.
Why do you think that there would be a bias from people who are running construction crews about hiring women to do construction, do you think?
Because they're misogynistic.
Oh, not because women are much weaker and can't do the job as well?
No, that's not, because actually
it's not.
There was a study done that said that when a construction site is full of men, the likelihood of injury is exceedingly high.
What does it have to do with doing construction?
Stop. when a construction site has both men and women
Building?
the construction site, the rate of injuries goes down. They're
This
more
dude is so
productive
dumb.
when both men and women are together.
Are the women building with them in this study? Are the women? Hang on, I just want some clarification. Are the women building with the men in this scenario?
They work on the fucking site.
I see. So then, if that's the case, why wouldn't construction companies who don't want the liability of injury hire more women, since that would up their bottom line?
They're misogynistic.
Because they're misogynistic.
Even if that was the case, because of capitalism and competition, the companies that did implement these quotas for women to join their forces, if they were more efficient, they would just outcompete the other companies that were full of men. If $1 billion company could be more efficient, make more money, save money, and be more efficient by hiring women in construction, best believe they would do it. Misogyny wouldn't stop them from doing that. The truth of the matter is, nature is very sexist.
Misogyny is going to keep them from making money. Brilliant analysis. So I could have a construction company hire a ton of women at less of a cost than men, because why? Because they can't get a job anywhere else due to misogyny. I could cut their pay significantly, make a shitload of money, and I could keep down the accidents in the workplace. And I'm not doing it because I'm misogynistic.
Right.
Brilliant analysis, sir.
So dumb.
Brilliant.
Premise.
Can I ask a question?
Wait.
Let's angry men go, and then Pretty ask the question.
The whole premise of your argument, public defender, is crazy, because you're trying to associate what men used to do back in the day. But we're looking at the equivalent of what men do today. Men don't have to build a house today because they buy the damn house. The same way women today don't have to milk cows or slaughter pigs. What are you talking about?
Or wash clothes by hands because we have washing machines now. What is he? Yeah, he's this.
Wow, bro. You're
I'm talking about you bringing up.
Trying to hold on. We listen to you talk for a minute, bro. First of all, when it comes to construction, when it comes to jobs like that, most women typically don't want to do those type of jobs.
Thank you.
Can't.
Based on what?
Can't.
It has absolutely nothing to do with.
I know. Based on what?
Wait.
Based on body temperature regulation.
And Andrew Wilson there is 100% right. I've seen him have this conversation before. I've seen him bring up the studies. There are studies all over the place that talk about how women have a hard time regulating temperature. This is why it's harder for women on the battlefield. It's why it's harder for women to do outdoor labor. It's the reason why 5 years ago there were a bunch of articles coming out saying that air conditioning was sexist. It's because women just have a harder time regulating their temperature. So even when they go into office spaces where there is air conditioning, because they have a hard time regulating their temperatures, they get colder or hotter, and they are more likely to overheat when doing outdoor labor. There are strength factors, there are small motor skill factors, there are temperature regulation factors. It turns out women aren't as good at those jobs as men. It just makes sense. Feminists try to make it seem like women could do all those jobs that men are doing, but they just don't want to. And the truth of the matter is they literally can't. Biology is sexist.
You're absolutely right, Andrew. They can't. But even with them not being able to do it, many of them choose not to. They don't want to do those
Men
type
can't
of jobs.
do the jobs either. That's why they invented tools.
They can. They not only can, but do. All of them.
Men
They're all done by men. All of them.
Just all right, man. Y'all,
Bro,
Can we bring it
they're all
back around?
jobs are done by men, sir.
Wait. The mental gymnastics that you're doing to try to alleviate or keep women from cooking for men is ridiculous, bro.
And the funny thing is, when feminists or when people know that they're wrong and they're getting cooked, they always do this cope laugh. He's doing a cope laugh right now because he knows that he's wrong. What he's saying doesn't even make sense. There's no way you're a grown adult and you think that what you're saying is right now.
The patriarchy is keeping women out of construction.
So public, you say you don't believe. Hold on, real quick.
The patriarchy.
I got you. I didn't forget.
You say you don't believe in gender roles. So if in masses, men said, you know what, we getting rid of gender roles. If men said, hey ladies, we coming home. We coming to take care of these badass kids. We cooking and cleaning. All you got to do is protect us and go to work full time to take care of the family. Are most women committing to that?
Hell yeah.
Yes.
Most women commit to. I'm asking them to ask.
Don't worry, I got you.
Would most women say we don't believe in gender roles either? We're gonna commit to that. Are most women gonna commit to that?
I think most women, if in your hypothetical, I think most women would be
fine
with that.
Shut up. He's just making that up, bro. Ask if most women are okay fighting wars. Ask a woman if she's in a relationship with a man and somebody breaks into the house, is she okay with being the one that goes to fight the guy who broke into the house? I guarantee you they're gonna say no. And if they do say yeah, they're just lying. They're literally just lying. He's just lying right now, and it's blatant.
So last two questions. Last two questions. If most women, men said, okay, y'all going on the front line in war now, we're not. Are most women going to commit to that?
Say what?
Are most women, if most men go, hey, we're switching gender, no more gender roles, y'all going on the front line in war.
So no gender roles means that women would actually be able to run.
Public, can you answer?
No, wait. I just want to.
It's an hypothetical public.
It's my question. I'm asking you. So let me answer it honestly. Then you answer it whether you want to lie or be honest. If men said now we there's no more gender roles, we're putting women primarily in front of the front lines in war. Are women committing to that or no?
Again. Like,
I already yes or no? All I want is yes or no.
No, you can't get a yes or no because I want to make sure that you're.
Are women? You don't. I ain't got it. Everybody else heard it. Everybody else heard it.
It's not going to work.
I'm not trying to do no trickery on you.
You are. That's why you won't let me talk.
Okay, what did I trick you?
So again, I just want to make sure that we're understanding this correctly. In this world, gender roles don't exist. The patriarchy doesn't exist, right? So I can assume that women would run the military as well. Like they would. They
not run front line.
Just granted. It won't hurt you a bit.
I'm not running. I'm not.
So I want to make sure that we're all having the same discussion.
You said you don't believe in gender roles. So men in masses, if we all here, we putting women on the front lines. We don't believe in gender roles anymore. Put they behinds in front of the front lines.
You're not listening to my question.
I'm asking you, would you commit?
In that world, Ali,
you're yes or no?
In that world,
okay.
Ali, in that world,
you're creating world. This is what you've been doing the whole show. We went to wiping ass, and you can't answer questions.
I answer all your questions.
No, you didn't.
He's going to try to say that
Okay,
if
so
women
let
run
me
the
get in here.
No.
We need to pass the mic.
We are not
pass the mic,
we're not passing no mic on this show. We're not passing on the mic on the show.
Relax,
you can
bro.
mute up till he answers this question.
Relax.
I'm relaxed.
You don't need to do that because the last
they're having a discussion and she's trying to derail it by trying to move it over to the next topic because this man is getting absolutely cooked. Tell him to answer the question and then you can move on. Don't try to move on in the midst of asking the question and he's not answering the question. This question gets down to the nitty gritty. Are women actually against gender roles or are they just against having to do their gender roles? Because if they agree that they don't care about men going to wars to fight on women's behalf or they want men to take on the traditional gender role of protecting them when somebody breaks into the house, then that means that women actually don't care about gender roles. They love gender roles. They just don't like when they have to do gender roles. So the question that he's asking is not only related to the debate directly, it's a part of the debate and it's monumental to coming down to the nitty gritty of what this debate is actually about.
When other people ask you to pass the mic, you did not do that.
Hey, pretty, again, when y'all
you did not give them that energy.
When y'all run, I do give you that, and I gave you that energy when you tried.
There's no need for it. I'll finish the point, and then Pretty is going to have a mic uninterrupted.
Question: If again in masses, men said, okay, now y'all going to do the 96% of the trades men engage in, are women going to say yes? We'll do 96% of all the trades that make the world go round. Will women say yes to that?
Yes.
No, they.
Okay. So I'm not going to over pursue him. But he's become not only a public offender.
Ali, I got one question for Ali.
You got it.
Now, 1 second. Pretty has to go. You have time, public. You have time.
Not only a public.
I'm done. I just want to ask him one question. I want him to answer it.
You're not just being a public offender.
Ali.
I'm landing. I'm going to land before you go.
Jesus
you're
Christ.
You're publicly lying too. So
yeah, sometimes when it comes to the debates are about swaying the audience. You know you're not going to sway your opponents. So him asking these questions and then getting these answers out of him just proves to the audience how dumb his mentality actually is. Just ask the right questions and let the person answer the questions and let the audience decide which side do they think is closer to reality. This man is saying what is closer to reality is that if men decided that they're not going to do the jobs that we traditionally do, women would jump into those positions and do those jobs. And the only reason why women aren't jumping into those positions is because the oppressive patriarchy is keeping women out of those positions, which really doesn't even make any sense. Those positions are extremely dangerous. They're extremely taxing on the body. They take a lot of labor. And if the patriarchy was actually oppressive to women, they would force women to do the hard jobs. Why would the oppressive patriarchy force men to do the jobs that kill people? Why wouldn't you force women to do that? That would actually be oppression. So what he's saying literally just doesn't even make sense. And sometimes when you're doing these debates, you got to realize it's not about trying to sway the feminists or the people who think opposite of what you're saying. It's about trying to sway the people in the audience. And sometimes the best way to do that is to let somebody actually say what they believe and then get down to the bottom of it and just prove how silly they actually sound.
Go ahead.
So my question to you, Ali, would be, if you flipped it around? I'm sorry.
Continue for a long time.
Can we let Pretty talk and please, public. please, because you've been the center of the attention and you get all the attention. It's fine, right? Because you are the antagonistic kind of the show. But once again, let's be honest about shit. Companies are amoral. They care about profit. If I have 10 men building something and they can build something in 1 day, I'm not going to get 10 women to build something in 30 days. That's all it is.
Let me say
Go
this.
ahead, Pretty. You can answer the question. It's fine. Go ahead.
Here's the thing. You asked a question, Ali. You said, if every single woman said, or if every man said, hey, you know what, I'll protect, I'll provide, I'll do all the things, you head home, let's go ahead and we'll cook, we'll clean, and let's be the perfect women, wear long skirts, long dresses, all the things, right? We'll shut up everything.
I didn't say
Would
that.
women, hold on one second.
I didn't say that. I didn't say that.
Okay,
That's not my
okay,
argument.
Relax.
That's not my argument.
Relax,
Stop telling
bro.
me relax, Pretty.
No, you do need to relax.
Why you say,
Your
bro?
energy is low.
Hey, Pretty, let him clarify his statement.
Yeah, you can't argue something the man
Let's
didn't say.
Yeah, let
take
him.
your question then.
1 second, please. 1 second. Let him clarify the statement, and then you can answer the question. Clarify the statement.
I'm gonna say it again. If in masses, men said, "We coming home, baby.
Okay.
We taking care of these badass kids. We cooking and cleaning. All you got to do is protect and provide." Are women in masses committing to that?
Oh, you mean switch the roles completely?
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah, because he don't believe in gender roles. Are women committing to that, Pretty?
No, women wouldn't be with y'all, period.
Because
That's
they
what women are
they
doing
believe
now.
in gender roles. Because y'all believe in
Yeah.
gender roles. They're
So let me
benefit
ask
you.
my question. No. So let me ask my question.
So why not? Then why not? Why
So
wouldn't they commit to that?
let me
Pretty,
ask my question.
why wouldn't they commit to that?
Women are walking away,
I
period.
didn't ask you about walking away. Why would
So-
women
Yeah, and
not?
that's the funniest part because men are doing more domestic labor and taking care of children more than they ever have in human history, and they're still getting divorced at the highest rates in human history because they're suckers and they think that if they do whatever their woman wants them to do, and they've been programmed to think that if I just do all the roles because my woman thinks that her roles are oppressive and I do my roles and her roles because of that reason, then she's going to love me forever. And then they go out and they do all the stuff that they're supposed to do, and they're still getting divorced at the highest rates in human history. And the truth of the matter is because when somebody doesn't reciprocate to you, it means that they're selfish. And when somebody's selfish and you just keep giving to them, they're going to continue to want more. And sometimes wanting more means getting rid of you and going to find the next guy who's better. And even if they don't actually find a guy that's better than you, in their head, that's what they think because they're just a selfish being. They don't want to reciprocate. So even now, when women have convinced men that we should take on their gender roles and our gender roles, men are being divorced at higher rates than ever.
No, we don't need to. We don't have to.
Pretty, I'm
We
asking.
don't. Because I'm answering your question.
No, you're not.
We don't have to. That is the answer that y'all hate. We don't have to. The only reason why women needed to be in community with men for centuries was because of this prospect of protection and provision. We were not able to go out and have our own things. Now women do not have to do it. So if you guys decided to switch
Because of men.
Yes.
The only reason you have what you're
Let them land, please. It's fine. Let them
Let
land.
me finish talking.
Go ahead. Finish
This
your
is
point.
unbelievable. You've been yelling this whole
It's
time.
fine, Pretty. It's
Let
fine,
people
Pretty.
talk.
Let me finish the point, please. Go ahead, Pretty.
We do not have to. And
Yes,
I also
you do.
would like to say, if things were to go back where it was a complete switch, women stayed home, cooked, cleaned, did all the things, the majority of men could not sustain it. Y'all cannot afford it. The majority of men in today's world cannot afford for
We
a
would if
woman
y'all
to
wasn't
stay
working.
at home.
If
For
y'all
a
wasn't
woman-
working, there'd
for
be
a
more
woman
jobs
to
available
stay
for
at
men.
home, you cannot afford for a woman to stay
If
at
y'all
home
wasn't
and
working, there'd
not
be more
bring
jobs
income
available
into the
for men.
household, because 50% of marriages are egalitarian because they require two incomes. We live in a capitalist society. So I think
They
it's real
wouldn't
funny that
if
I
y'all
think
wasn't
it's
in the
real funny.
workforce.
I think it's real funny that you're saying, what if we all switch the roles? Let's get real hypothetical. Y'all couldn't do it.
You just
can't
contradicted
hold up your
yourself.
end
No,
of the
it's not
You
that.
cannot
Incorrect.
hold
Pretty,
up
Pretty.
your
One
end of
second,
the
please. 1 second,
bargain.
friends.
He
1 second,
she said
friends.
we
1
they
I
don't
second.
don't
need
need
us.
to be
They
interrupted.
walking
I
One
away
didn't
second,
from
finish
please.
my point ever.
No, Pretty. We
You
try
long-
to answer your point, right? And you can get it afterwards. Angry man is right. Woman flooded the
No, I
market.
didn't ask the question. I'm staying a
No, you're making the points. Let's have a conversation with each other. I'll pass you the
No, but
microphone immediately.
So I would
me.
like
Okay, so before the show, I said let's not go on monologues. And when I having a conversation, I'm just having a conversation with you. Can I pass you the microphone back? I'm just saying, your point is irrelevant because because women flooded the market, and now there's 8 billion people that possibly can be working, not 8 billion, but all the adults. The wages went down or stagnated, and now men can afford to actually pay shit. But as soon as women go back home, now the companies have to pay, like, because there are less people actually to work. Now the salary will increase, and now men will be able to take care of their families if there's
That's how
those
you
jobs
think
available.
capitalism works?
No, but that's how supply and demand works. When there are fewer of the thing, then you have to pay more to get the thing. If there are fewer workers, you'd have to pay the workers more. Women flooding into the workforce stagnated wages, and it was designed to be that way. Not only that, but people could live a modest life, but that's no longer the expectation. People want more, people want bigger, people want better. My grandmother was with my grandfather for years. They didn't make a crazy amount of money, but as a woman who wanted to be provided for and who valued the marriage over how much stuff they had, she understand that she had to live within the means that her man was able to provide. So back then you had grandmothers that sewed clothes. They weren't going out and buying designer clothes. They ate pork and beans. They weren't going to fancy restaurants every night. They weren't going on vacations. Sometimes these women didn't even drive because they only needed one car, and that was for the man to go to and from work. That was all they did. My grandmother's been married for 60 years. They just went on vacation and left the country for the first time a few years ago. In modern relationships, people want big houses. They want expensive cars. They want 2 cars. They want new clothes. They want to eat at expensive restaurants. They want a lifestyle of luxury. And if a man isn't able to provide them a lifestyle of luxury, they think that that means that he's not able to provide. My grandma knew that my granddad loved her so much that he wanted to give her the world, but he just couldn't afford to. She was okay with that because to her, the world was her family and him being together. She cared more about him and the family than she did the lifestyle he was able to provide. And that's how you make it 60 years in a marriage, not this materialist BS. The modern mindset thinks that how much money you have equates to a better life for your kids. And I'm gonna tell you right now, I didn't grow up with much, but I had a great childhood. All of those things built character. Some of the times when we were the poorest, I still remember to this day are some of my best memories. I had some great times back then.
That is how you believe
That's literally what happened. What are you talking? That's literally what happened. No, okay. No, 1 second. Pretty. Question for you. Pretty. Question for you. Why did the salaries stagnate at the same time as women started to flood the market, the working market? Like, why? What's the reason for that?
Sir, that is not how capitalism works.
No. Teach me.
Consolidation of wealth to the top 1%.
No, that's fine, Pretty. We're talking about the average man. The average man on the 60s,
how capitalism works.
Yeah, the average man used to be capable of taking care of his family, right? Why did as soon as women flooded the market when it comes to jobs, the salaries either stopped growing or became stagnant or actually increased below inflation point? Like, what is the reason of these two things coinciding with each other?
Greed.
What?
Why do y'all let women have conversations?
Tommy crashing out. He said, "Why do y'all let women have conversations?" Tommy crashing out.
Conversation. Y'all can stay around.
Enough girl math. Enough girl math.
I don't need to
hold on.
Greed.
You're bugging.
Easily
hold on real quick.
Brilliant.
I would actually like to just hear her prove it. Just let her prove it. Prove it.
She don't got no proof.
Yeah, they won't though.
Prove
They'll
it.
move for something else.
Did you just submit to that man like that? You've been waiting to talk this whole time.
Obfuscating and prove it. Don't obfuscate and prove it.
Trying to move the goalpost again. On 3, fellas. 1, 2, 3, push.
Now she's trying to shame because she doesn't have a point.
Stop, Jess, stop obfuscating and just prove it.
So you don't have the answer, and now you're going to change to.
Yes.
And all women do is insult. Why you can't have a real conversation with
them? Don't want to talk. They stop talking when I ask them to stop talking.
Hey, everybody quiet. Everybody quiet. Hey, everybody quiet. Nobody interrupts Pretty. Go ahead, Pretty.
I'll leave it all for that.
Go ahead, Pretty. You have the microphone. Ali, Pretty, you have the microphone.
This is very simple. What men have to do is we have to stop being willing to date women who don't want to reciprocate value. It's very simple. Women who think this way about relationships is not your job, and it will destroy you as a man trying to get women to appreciate the things you have to offer. If she doesn't appreciate what you do and is willing to show that through reciprocation, we have to stop being willing to date these women. Let them get older, let them fizzle out, let them figure out life by themselves. But we need to start prioritizing women who actually understand the sacrifice of a man and are willing to reciprocate value. We got to stop dealing with these types of women. Now, we can have conversations just so we can, to the broader audience, actions demonstrate how retarded they sound, but we can't keep taking people like this serious. This is silly at this point. These types of women don't want love. They want to be worshipped. You can't negotiate with those types of people. You have to just not date them as men. I personally don't even think that you should be sleeping with them. I think that you should be dating with the intention to marry, and if you do that, you're going to be able to do it with a certain level of clarity because your expectations and what you want out of it is going to be clear. And you're going to be less likely to waste your time entertaining women that have a mentality like this towards relationships. You can't build with a person like this.
No.
Prove it. Can't fucking prove it.
No, okay, it's fine.
I already listed my boundary earlier.
Easily. Okay, prove it.
Before you go,
before you
go, I'm gonna ask her a question because she already contradicted herself. She said that women don't need men anymore. They can get their own things and they're walking away from men. But then she turned right back around and said that women and men need each other to survive. So do women need men to survive or they don't need men to survive? You did. You said we need each other because we can't afford to live by ourselves in today's economy because of capitalism. So do women? Oh,
great point, brother.
Y'all never say what y'all
clarify,
say.
what did you say?
I said you cannot sustain a household, meaning children, 2 adults, a household.
So do we need each other for a household?
Single.
So do we need each other for a household?
People can't afford to maintain being single and living alone.
So if you want to,
what happened to the whole her proving this though? Can we get back to that?
Yeah.
Can you prove? You said that it's due to greed. You said it's due to greed. You said it's due to greed. Yeah, see the obfuscation here? Just actually hold her feet to the fire and demand she prove it.
Let's move.
They won't do it, Andrew.
I'm not willing to back off until you prove your point. You said that you could prove that wages stagnated due to greed. Prove it.
Finish your point.
Let's move it.
Now suddenly you want him to finish his point? Answer the fucking question, lady.
Let's move. She's like, let's move the conversation. We already
Don't say a word till she answers.
Andrew.
You think this is your show? Y'all gonna show him?
Either you guys want to
look. Now she wants men to do her bidding. Y'all gonna show him? Y'all gonna show him whose show it is? Now she's hiding behind the men. Now she's trying to use shaming tactics, trying to belittle the men so that they feel like they have to prove themselves to her by pushing the conversation beyond what Andrew's saying. No. Answer the question. You made a claim that it was about greed. Answer the question. How can you prove that it's about greed? If you can't prove that, then you're just making shit up. All of these type of mindsets go together. You see how quickly she was willing to get disrespectful just because she was losing a debate? This has been a very respectful conversation. She's just losing it, so she's willing to turn to disrespect. You think that that's going to be good in a relationship? If you get in a relationship with a feminist or a woman who thinks this way about gender roles, who thinks that the things that she's supposed to reciprocate to a man is slavery, how could you ever build a life with somebody like that? You have to ignore these types of women.
You have to choose one. You can be, I don't want to talk, and then, okay?
I want to talk.
This man said we're not moving on.
We deserve an answer.
Pretty intellectual. Do you think the greed initially stemmed from even putting women in the workforce to begin with? Because originally women, were pretty simple and worked part-time jobs. But would you say that tax-wise, now we get taxed to a high degree and so on? Would you think that comes from the greed stemming? And if that's the case, then essentially putting women in the workforce kind of runs us down that path of why we need women back at home, right? It's the tax stuff.
Aren't you feeding greedy capitalists, Preeti?
And I was just about to answer her question too.
Go ahead.
Oh my goodness.
I can answer her question.
She's silly.
Sarah.
Smoky man bad.
Yes.
Andrew, go ahead.
I think he's upset he's not getting attention.
Go ahead.
I think that you just need to answer the original question. Why won't you just make her answer? Answer the question.
Stop crying. I'm gonna drink your tears.
You mute yourself and refuse to speak to me and then say, I'm crying, lady? Give me a fucking break. Answer my fucking question, you dense fucking idiot. Answer the question. Answer the fucking question.
You beat my ass 10 times, nigga. I'm gonna get back up. But I promise you, nigga, when the opportunity presents itself again, nigga, I'm gonna shine, nigga. In a real way, nigga.
All right.
We are going to pass you the microphone.
So you guys, I didn't realize you were going to break your policy of muting, which I got in writing.
You guys are YouTubers. If you click on the video,
I got the agreement, bro.
Look, she's laughing. She did it. She won. And now these two guys are going back and forth because they're trying to draw order because she caused disorder. This is what it's all about. It's just about causing disorder, throwing up smoke and mirrors, and you can't even back your points by anything. I think that they should do what Andrew's saying and hold her feet to the fire. We literally sit here for the next 20 minutes until you can answer the question, or you admit that you sound like a fucking retard and you stop saying just random shit that comes to your head, because she's not proving what she's saying by any metric. And then look, she's just smiling, having a good grand old time because now she got these two men to go back and forth when really they're supposed to be holding her feet to the fire. It's crazy.
Girls on the RCs with the asses popping out. Does he mute everybody, Andrew? You know this mutes everybody. What are you talking about? Like,
what was the agreement? What was the agreement? What was the fucking agreement?
Andrew,
I think essentially, if we just allow, oh, sorry.
Andrew,
here, I'll read it for you.
No, Andrew, can you listen real quick, brother?
Yeah, I'm gonna read it.
Andrew, you press Andrew right now. If we press the button,
it's everybody. He knows that. Come on,
what is this exactly? Y'all know every time we play a video, it mutes everybody. It's everybody.
No.
He knows it. He knows it.
You're playing the video to mute people. There's the difference.
No. But it's because the conversation.
And by the way, Pretty still hasn't answered the fucking question.
So I will say, hey, Pretty, are you willing to answer the question or not? I will give you the chance to do it. Okay, let me put the one who wants to be a billionaire.
She can't answer the question.
So I'll just ask
are you willing to answer the question?
The question
yes
is this.
Or no?
Sarah's question or Andrew?
Mine.
No, what? Okay, let's go with Andrew.
She's a child.
Answer Andrew.
Are you willing to answer my actual question that I asked you?
She don't want to answer it. Stop fucking.
No, she won't do it.
Look, this goes back.
People won't participate in a panel.
This goes back. Look, this goes back to the can a woman cook?
Coercion is crazy on this fucking live right now.
She won't answer the question. She can't
Hey,
answer
can you
the
guys stop
question.
talking, please? Hey, I'll
right,
say
though.
this respectfully. Like y'all are kind of abusing the shit now right now. We are small content creators trying to make it just like everybody else. The fact that you have respect every time I see you go to other places, and now nobody wants to toe the line, nobody wants to have the conversation, everybody's interrupting, everybody what
I've been the most respectful person on the panel. What do you mean?
No, you haven't, because
I barely said a word this whole time, bro.
Absolutely, Andrew. I don't even know. Like, if you talk right now, I couldn't recognize your voice. I don't even know that, right?
Yeah, barely said a word. And the thing is, all I'm asking as a participant in the panel with other participants in the panel, I had a question. I want the question actually answered. If the person refuses, hang on, if a person refuses to engage with other panelists, why are they on the fucking panel?
Yeah, so what do? I get on a plane, I go to the United States, I track Tweety, I grab her by the leg, I put a microphone on her face, I say, "Let's do the question." What can I do? Me and Ali, we're not the same room.
You can make her answer the question or get off the fucking panel so that we can participate in the conversation.
I will say,
if you have participants who won't participate, why are you having a panel? Who am I supposed to argue with? Myself? Hey, Andrew, I think that's a bad idea. Yes, Andrew, I think that's a good idea. Andrew, what about Tony? Answer the fucking question. Answer the question, lady. Fatty, answer the question, you stupid broad. Answer it.
I'm answering the question.
Answer the question, bro.
I'm answering the question, you alcoholic. We are going to move the.
Stop simping, Fatty. Make her answer the question.
Stop. I'll repeat it. No. Nobody interrupt me. Nobody interrupt me. I will. She said no. No means no. We respect here. Okay. Her body, her choice.
She said she's not going to answer the question, and no means no, huh, Fatty?
Force her. I can't. I don't want to go to jail. No means no. Let's move on. Okay. Let me get Sarah.
Then force her to concede. Force her to say that she can't answer the question. You have to hold her feet to the fire. You have to make these people really demonstrate how stupid they actually sound. And the only way you could do that is by forcing them to elaborate on the points that they're making. You can't just say greed and then have no way to prove that. And if you can't prove that, stop saying dumb stuff.
Tommy involved. And Andrew, have the chance to ask questions again, please. Once again, go ahead, please, Sarah and Tommy. And then Andrew is going to have the opportunity to keep going strong. Go ahead.
Well, I mean, for Pretty, in terms of her thought process, would it be more greedy in essence for women to kind of have their cake and eat it too with all of this? We get to work, we get to be like have husbands also providing, and then we like still get all of these pieces, but then we're still demanding that men do more upon that. Like, would there still be greed involved? I'm trying to get back to your greed concept, and I'm just not understanding it.
Yeah, when I spoke about greed, I'm speaking about capital greed, right?
Mm-hmm.
If you speak about a woman being greedy because a woman decides that she is working, she's providing for herself, which is those are the things the patriarchy promised us, right? Provision and protection. She's working, she's providing. She has a pew-pew and an alarm system at her house. She's protecting herself. She's deciding when to go out. She's deciding when to come back, protecting herself, right? She has people around her, whether it be a community of other women, her family, who she loves, she trusts.
This is so delusional and dumb.
If she decides to engage with a man, she is now equipped to bargain for exactly what she wants from that man, and she does not have to settle because of the guise of protection and provision. So that's not protection. That's just called good asset management.
Well, why does she need a man then?
It's not called greed. It's called good asset management. That's what it is.
Right, but why does she need a man then? If she's got everything she needs,
Because
like
she's a heterosexual woman. She likes men.
Okay, but she could protect herself. She can provide herself, so she doesn't really need a man in the picture, then, right?
If she's heterosexual and she enjoys being with men, that's why she would want him there.
So disingenuous.
This is what's that right there is the problem with the world right there. What she just said, that we will sit here and even let that fly.
Go ahead, Tommy. I don't understand what was supposed to let fly. I didn't get it. I was distracted.
I said the fact that what she just said right there is the problem with the world.
Can you elaborate on that?
Meaning, she's still going to have to she's going to need a man to protect at some point, some way, form, or fashion. I mean, it's just crazy just to sit here and hear her say that.
Yeah, because she's just being disingenuous. She's trying to act like women want to protect and provide for themselves. Even when women are capable of making money and providing for themselves, they still want men that make more money because they want the man to still provide for them. So she's just being disingenuous and trying to act like, oh, the things that men traditionally bring, women don't need anymore, and women don't desire that anymore. Women want men to do the things that women are traditionally supposed to do. They do want men to do the things that women are traditionally supposed to do, but they also want men to do what men have traditionally been expected to do.
A woman don't need a man.
So Tommy, do you want to add anything to the conversation before we move to something that Master Teacher actually we're talking about? Average man having options. Okay.
Yeah, can I weigh in on this last topic real quick, Fatty?
Absolutely. Let me Tommy go, and then you
Sure.
you wrap it up. Go ahead.
Yeah, simple. I was listening to some of the things that were being said, and it was a lot of ridiculousness being said. One, about sexism being the thing that's going to stop people from hiring the right people. There's a reason why these Mexicans who whites are racist against still get jobs over regular people, because they're cheaper. There's a reason why, no matter how racist whites were, they sure did put a lot of black folks in basketball. They white sons get to watch the team, and the team is full of black men, and they know they're not going to be able to grow up to be one of those NBA players, no matter how good they think they are, because the percentages are low. Because even though the racist owner, like the Clippers owner, was very racist, he had none but niggas on the team. Why? Because it was more profitable for him.
So these companies will literally hire children to do these jobs. They'll hire immigrants, bring in immigrants from outside of the country for a lower wage and hire them to do the jobs. They will literally replace human beings with artificial intelligence to save a couple of dollars. But when it comes to replacing men with women in order to make more money, they wouldn't do that because they're misogynistic. It just doesn't even make sense.
For an idiot to sit up here and say, oh, well, they don't want women on the job because they're sexist. If it was a bunch of women that were on that job, that were doing that job cheaper than men, they'd let them do it. Guaranteed. Now, then
That's
you
how
have
they have jobs in the first place, right?
Right. Like, it doesn't make sense. But we got to listen to somebody lie, and we had to listen to somebody else tell another lie about men and how, well, women today don't need men. And my man, Angry Man, had alluded to it, but she didn't hear it and probably won't understand it because she believes that the free market works off of not free market, but the hiring practice is what they were talking about. Capitalism was just greed. Okay, here we go.
Yeah, so I just wanted to weigh in real quick. So Pretty, earlier, you were asked this question by Fatty. He said, can you explain why it is that when women entered into the workforce, the wages between men and women stagnated? And you said due to greed. And he said, can you prove that? And then you just kind of shut down. And after you said you could and refused to answer to that question. So right now, during my time, I'd like to graciously give you the floor so that you can prove to us that it was due to greed that wages stagnated. Can you actually do that, Pretty, or are you just going to sit there and shut your mouth like a good woman?
Although you took my time, but you know. If we're being manly and orderly,
perfect. You're just going to shut your mouth like a good woman. Perfect.
On this panel, but that's beautiful. I'm enjoying myself.
Again, I'll finish with my time then. The second thing I wanted to point out was when Angry Man had said, hey, look, the only reason that women are able to do what they're doing right now is because of men. Right now, if men took their hands off and said, we're not going to help women got to defend themselves, you'd be right back to where you were. It wouldn't take them but 2 seconds. If men didn't stop women, other men from graping women would still be getting raped in large numbers. If men didn't stop other men from beating their wives, because it ain't no women stopping men from beating their wives. So when someone sits there and pretends that, oh, well, right now what we're doing is we got it better and we're stopping. No, it's still men. Y'all need men. Even now, you need men to allow you to be able to do what it is you're doing. Because if it wasn't acceptable, you wouldn't be able to do it. You don't have an army, you don't have a force, you don't have a nation, you have nothing to enforce what it is that you're talking about.
Except for a mouth to complain in the safest time ever, in a time where you have more freedom than ever, just complaining about nothing. You got great circumstances. You sitting on a podcast in a house that was built by a man, on a podcast that's hosted by a man, on an internet that was created by a man, with a microphone that was created by a man, all these different things just to say that you don't need men, which is just silly. And I think that that's what it's going to take. I think as men start to withdraw, you see less men going into the workforce. You see less men doing the hard, dangerous jobs that are necessary to sustain society. Of course, the older generations still are, but the newer generations are starting to refuse to engage with society. And it's because society doesn't offer these young men anything. They want these young men to be willing to go to war and die for these women, to protect these women in the country as a whole. But then when these men come back, they're not supposed to expect anything, no certain type of treatment from the women, no certain type of treatment from the government. They're just supposed to just keep getting bent over all day. Women have always appealed to the benevolence of men to get what they want. And eventually young men are going to start to ask the question, why should we be benevolent to women if they refuse to be benevolent to us? Why should we be willing to go fight and die in wars when we're doing it for women who obviously, and they make it obvious that they hate us and they don't want to reciprocate? Because when men stop participating, and this is happening, if you look at the numbers, this is happening. But when men stop participating, all of this comes to a halt. Companies have been saying that the future is female, and young men are going, okay, we'll fucking find out then. These women who think like this are ungrateful and they're greedy. They don't want to contribute anything to society. They don't want to have kids. All they want to do is go work to benefit themselves, and they want a man who's willing to go to work to benefit them also, while reciprocating nothing to society and reciprocating nothing to the man that they want to prioritize them.
So wouldn't the answer to your question be not that they need women, not that they need men, but they need men to leave them the fuck alone? You just said it right now. You just said, oh, men, we need to stop men.
Yeah, just like black.
Hold on. Men is the fucking problem.
Sir, yeah. A lot of that is hold on. That is the nature. Oh, sir, that is the nature of the animal kingdom. Is it not?
No.
Is it not?
No.
How is it not? People take over each other's land all the time. Do they not?
You consider yourself to be on the same level as an animal?
Yes. Hold on. Yes, that's why wars are being fought.
Meat, bones, fur, everything. No, you don't.
That is why wars are being fought.
I kind of wanted to bring it back
grew up around a bunch of women. You say a question and then don't want the answer. I ain't never said a question to somebody and then kept talking. Only hoes do that. If I say what's 5 plus 5, I'm not gonna be like, cause if you don't know 5 plus 5 and keep talking. Stop and let a nigga answer the question.
It's called a rhetorical question, you dipshit.
No, it shouldn't be called a rhetorical question because I got an answer for it.
Ass nigga. Who you calling?
Can I try to bring it back around, if I may?
I'm a hoe and you broke.
You a hoe.
If it's
Oh, I'm
okay,
broke.
And you
Cool.
broke.
I kind of wanted to
And you
bring it
broke.
back to the actual point
I'll
of
be
the
that.
whole topic of
I'm
the
broke.
You a fan.
pretty
Shut the
intel.
fuck up, cool.
Go ahead, Sarah.
I'm broke.
Thank
Looks
you.
like you, nigga. You
Pretty-
fucking
Shut up,
cool.
fan.
Pretty
Shut up, fan.
intellectual.
Let's get Sarah, please.
Sorry, I wanted to bring it back around, and I was trying to make a point, but then I kind of let it go. But Pretty Intellectual said that we
I'm
can
broke.
provide
Send me
for
super
ourselves.
chats. I'm broke.
We can protect ourselves. We can provide for ourselves. All these things. So essentially, like it comes down to just having good company of a man. If that is the case, then why are men actually having an issue dating? If they don't have to provide for her, if they don't have to protect her, and they just have to be good company, then I bring the whole thing back around. Why are men having such a problem getting a date if all of those other standards don't need to be necessarily met?
So it's what I said earlier, right? Where I literally said, the question was asked, do men have options in the dating market? And my answer was clear. Yes, I do believe that they do. I believe if they focus on having a good personality, being a decent person, being enjoyable
What does
to
that
be
mean?
around.
What does that
then
mean?
Yes. What's happening right now is a lot of men are unfortunately radicalized because they can't keep up with the patriarchy. They can't keep up with inflation. They can't keep up. They're radicalized because they're crushing. And so when you bring that,
I think that young men aren't radicalized enough, actually. I think that young men have been very tolerant and they're getting bent over. I think the fight in men that has always existed has been beaten out of us. I think that has been propagated out of us. I think that a lot of men are sedated because these current circumstances, if this was 100 years ago, things would have been burnt to the ground. So I actually think that men aren't probably radical enough in order to change these circumstances. What we need is to attack the legal system. We need to start changing some of these laws and giving women the equality that they say that they want. And when they live under those conditions, they'll realize that the equality they say they want, they don't actually want. But what we've been doing, we've been trying to give women the benefits of being a man without any of the responsibilities. And that's just making them more ungrateful. Men need to stand up and start fighting for the laws that are going to benefit families. We've got to reel this stuff back in a little bit because this is getting a little out of control.
Full of aggression, and you believe if you somehow have made it from under that boulder, that is all that you need to bring to the table, i.e. I finally made it. I have my protection, I have my provision, and you forget a personality. That is why people do not want to be around you. This is not rocket science, right? This is nature. People are attracted to, a lot of people are sapio, people are attracted to people they enjoy being around. And
So
a lot
Priya,
of
let me ask
So
you
the thing that she just said, first of all, women have been radicalized since suffrage, since feminism. What you're seeing right now with the men is a response to your radicalization. So to try to project that onto us is absolutely ridiculous. And the men are not behaving the way they're behaving right now because they can't keep up. They're behaving the way they're behaving because you broke the social contract, which is where that term, what do you bring to the table, comes from. Y'all get up here and y'all use it and misuse it all the time. A dude came up with that term where he basically said, okay, if the men stop doing what we're supposed to do, finally maybe the women will get a clue and then come back to the negotiating table, and then we can actually get this thing back on track. You guys started the bullshit when you walked away from your duties and your responsibilities, and the men are simply responding to it. But to try to act like we're radicalized because of that is absolutely ridiculous.
Women are not radicalized. Women are still actively voting against their best interest often. Women are not radicalized. Women are voting against their best interest in order to maintain proximity to men. Women are still very much male-centered, right? And there's a small sector of women who are stating that they don't want to participate in it anymore.
So what are women voting on that's against their best self-interest?
There are plenty of women who still want to participate. Sir, I let you
let her land, man. Let her land real quick.
I let you land.
Let her land, man, real quick. Let her land, please.
Why are you doing that? I know that you don't like for women to finish.
Just answer the goddamn question.
Oh my God! Again. No, let her finish her point. No, let her finish her point.
Like you were finished.
Look,
it did sound like she was finished.
Y'all just going to fight again. Go ahead, sweetie, finish your point.
You tried to drag out your response like you had.
And that's what this is about. These women, just look at her. She's acting immature. She's actually not taking this conversation serious. And this is why you can't take women like this serious. And she's not taking it serious because she's not serious. She's a child. She's behaving like a child. She's just saying things to get an emotional reaction because she likes attention. She doesn't even have anything that backs up her mentality. She just knows that her mentality, and if she says the things that she says, she can get a reaction out of people. So she goes on to different panels and does this. This is obvious. She isn't even backing. She hasn't even studied the things that she's saying. She's just literally saying shit.
All you were gonna do is repeat what you said. That's all you were gonna do.
No, I wasn't gonna repeat.
Instead of being on the panel,
there's no reason for every conversation about the conversation. Please let her finish your point and you get the microphone up.
No, because I gotta point this out.
Like, what can be like? Let her finish and then you can answer.
I gotta point it out, bro. I gotta point it out because she's being super toxic. I gotta point it out.
So I think it's funny.
Accusing Ali.
I think
she's
it's funny that
Ali of submitting to Andrew.
I think it's funny that women are accused.
She wants every man
radicalized when you have experienced like 2 crash outs so far on this panel. Even this panel alone.
I think that should be. I think that should keep talking over each other. I think that's great.
Is giving radical man energy. So it's funny that we're the ones.
I don't give a fuck what you think is.
So anyways, so we're. Oh my gosh, angry man.
You couldn't even answer Andrew's question.
Calm down.
Can I play this video now? Can I play this video now?
No, can I finish talking or no?
And that's the end of it, guys. But that's what this is all about. It's about women like this saying random things to put themselves in a victim narrative. And the reason why they gear towards the victim narrative is because they're failures. They're failures in relationships. They're failures in their careers. And they want somebody to blame. And it's easier to blame the patriarchy than it is to blame yourself for your own failures. So what she's doing and what women like this do is they blame their failures on the quote-unquote patriarchy with absolutely no proof. And when common sense men or when sensible men come and have conversations with them and try to go, well, can you prove the things that you're saying are actually true? They just try to rage bait. They derail the conversation from a logical conversation to an emotional conversation. And then they try to act condescending because they understand once they get an emotional response out of you, now you're in their world. You're outside of the world of logic. And then they start trying to, like, as the kids call it, gaslight you and be condescending and all those different things. This is really what's happening on a social scale, on a broad scale, on a global scale to men. Men are taking women serious who are not actually serious. They're just saying things. And then when you ask them to prove it, they don't have any proof because what they're saying isn't true. And then men decide that we need to continue to cater to what they're saying when they can't even prove the things that they're saying are actually true. For example, women will say, I feel unsafe going outside, but then they'll go outside to a club at night with drunk men wearing clothes that make them feel comfortable, meaning a miniskirt in 34 degrees. So these feminists just talk. You have to get away from feminism. You have to get away from any woman who thinks about her roles as slavery, and that comes from feminism. You got to get away from these losers. And men as a whole have to stop taking this stuff serious. Guys, this was by Fatty. I'm going to leave a link in the description down below. This was a really good one. This panel, his panel structure has been growing like wildfire, and I thought that this was a pretty interesting conversation. Let me know in the comments below if this video was a W or L, and give me the HBO special. That's Help Brother Out special. Hit the like and the subscribe button for more content. Till next time.